and I've rolled a 5, a 5 and a 3. So I'd like to show you how I can take out 2 zombies with those dice. Of course, I can do anything I can think of with my dice apart from double or halve them. So I can multiply them, add them together, take them away, divide them. So if I multiply the 5 by 5, I know that 5 times 5 is 25. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So I could use those 2 dice and hit the 25 zombie. But I need to use all 3 dice. And I've got a 3, but there's a 2 and an 8 zombie in play. But if I use a skill called powering up, I can definitely hit 2 zombies, and I'll show you how. To power up a dice, or a dice combination, you simply multiply it by itself. So in the case of 5, I can say I'm going to power up this dice. So 5 times 5, which will get me the 25, leaving me the other 5 dice free. So if I wanted to, I could now add these 2 together. So 5 plus 3 gives me 8. So I could hit the 8 zombie. But let's say that the 2 zombie was closer to my barricade and more of a threat. I could hit the 2 as well by saying 5 minus 3 leaves me 2. So I can hit the 2 and the 25, or I can hit the 25 and the 8. The choice is mine. Okay, these are the zombies we've now got in play. A 2, a 1, a 6, a 10, a 7 and an 8. These are all level 1 zombies, so these are the beginner levels. I'm going to roll 3 dice. Even at this level though, there's an awful lot of maths involved and an awful lot of thinking about maths to hit even these simple numbers. So let's see what we've got. We've got a 2, a 2 and a 1. We could add the 1 to the 2 to make 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So we could take out the 6 zombie. Alternatively, we could take out a 2 and a 1. But that then leaves us with a 2 that we can't use. So we'd have to think about a way of using that. One way of doing it would be to take the 1 from that 2 to bring it back down to 1. And then we can take out 2 and 1. What else can we do? Well, if we powered one of those 2's up to a 4, then we could add the 1 to it to make 5. 2 times 5 will get us the 10. Or we could power one of these up to a 4, 5, 6, 7 to get the 7. Or we could power one up to 4 times 2 to get the 8 and use the 1 on the 1. If the 1 wasn't there, we could go 1 times 8 to keep it at 8 and to use all 3 dice. So let's give you another example of how powerful powering up can be. So I've rolled a 3, a 2 and a 5. So if I power up the 5, 5 times 5, 25. I can use that to hit the 25. Power up the 2, 2 times 2 is 4. So I'm powering it up, not doubling it. So 2 times 2 is 4, I can hit the 4. And 3 times 3 is 9. So with those 3 dice, I can take out those 3 zombies. You can also combine dice and power up the result. So I could power up the 2 to a 4. Now I could power up the 3 to a 9, but that leaves me with another 2, which I could use here, so I could just go 2 plus 2 equals 4. But actually, I want to get rid of the 25 zombie here, because its hunger is 5. So if this zombie reaches the barricade, we would lose 5 survivors. Whereas this zombie's hunger is 4, and this one is 2. So, it makes sense to try and get rid of the 4 and the 25. And we can do it like this. Let's add these 2 dice together. 3 plus 2 is 5. So we can take that 5 and power it up. 5 times 5 is 25. We can then power up the 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And then we can take out the 4 and the 25 on our turn, saving us potentially from losing 9 survivors. Here's another example of different ways we can use our dice. We have a 9, a 6 and a 7 strength zombie in play, and we've rolled a 6, a 3 and a 1. We could add the 6 and the 3 together to make 9, but we need to use the 1. So we could go 1 times 9 is 9. That will absorb then the 1 dice, and we can use then all 3 dice to hit that 9 strength zombie. But here's a way we can hit 2 zombies. If we power up the 3, 3 times 3 is 9. We can then add the 1 to the 6 and we can hit the 7. But actually, if we look at the hunger level of the 7, it's 4, and the hunger level of the 6 zombie is 5. So if we could, we'd be better off taking out number 6. We could do this by saying the 6 will hit the 6, and then 1 times 6 is 6. That gets rid of those 2 zombies with a combined hunger of 7. They get removed to the zombie graveyard, and it's the next player's turn. Okay, here's another example where we can easily hit 1 zombie, but if we're a bit sneaky, we could hit 2. If we add all of these dice together, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, we can hit the 7 zombie. Nice and simple. But if we're sneaky, we can hit 2 zombies, and I'll show you how. We use the 3 to hit the 3, then we're going to power up one of the 2s. 2 times 2 is 4, and then we're going to multiply that by the other 2. So 2 times 4 is 8, and then we can hit the 8. Okay, let's see what we roll. Wow, that's an interesting roll. We've got 5 plus 5, which will get us the 10, or 5 plus 6, which will get us the 11. But that leaves us with a 5, which we must be able to use, otherwise we can't hit any zombies. So here's a trick I'd like to show you. Let's power up the 5. 5 times 5 is 25. So now let's divide it by that 5. How many times does 5 go into 25? Well, it goes in 5 times. So that now becomes 5. 5 plus 6 is 11. We've used all 3 dice and hit the 11 strength zombie, which can now be removed to the zombie graveyard. Here's a trick to hit a 1 zombie. We've rolled a 3 and 2 4s, and we've got a 3 and a 1 zombie in play. If we can get rid of these 2 zombies, we can clear the board, and that allows us to take some more survivors and add them to our safe zone. So it's really important to try and hit these 2. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to take the 3 and hit the 3, so nice and simple. But we're left with 2 4s. How do we get those 2 4s to equal 1? Well, we can add them together, take them away, multiply, divide, power up or power down. So in this case what we're going to do is we're going to divide them together. When you divide 2 numbers the same together, it always equals 1. So how many times does 4 go into 4? It goes in exactly once. That means if we divide those dice, that equals 1, and we can take out the 1 zombie. Brilliant.